Right. All right, we're here with the first episode of Rock Chalk Football, and that's a working title. That could not even be the name, but I'm here with KU law student Luke, to the one that I'm sharing earbud, and
how's it going?
Yeah, just this is how it's working. And then across us, KU alumni Owens. Is how we're going to. And I am KU senior. We are 4-0, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone a long way since Carter Stanley led us to, what was it, 4 wins, 3 wins?
Three.
Yeah, and it's good to see that, first off, I don't even know how we got to start the show off. Are you up over here? Luke's upset that we're not ranked. I was expecting us not to be ranked.
Me too, but it still hurts. But I was expecting it because not enough teams ahead of us lost. There's too many teams ahead of us. It's Kansas football. At the end of the day, I expected it, but
what do you think, Owens?
I expected not to be ranked, but I'm a little disappointed considering just similar resumes. Some teams are top 10, some are top 25, and then we're just sitting right outside.
Okay, so in your opinion, do you think we should have been there, or because I don't know, I just don't think if we maybe blew out Duke, I think I could have argued us ranking.
Yeah.
But right now I think it was just an 8-point win, so I'm not gonna.
There's just too many teams ahead of us, I think, and there's just too many. Minnesota was unranked last week, but they beat Michigan State by 25. So you got that there.
The fact that K-State,
Oklahoma probably isn't a top 10 team, but they were last week, and K-State beat them on the road. So that's why they're ahead of us. But they're below us in the coaches poll. They're just ahead of us in the AP poll.
Which blows us. Where are we on the coaches poll?
We're 27th on the coaches poll and 26th in the AP poll. We're pretty similar because it's just us and Cincinnati are flipped.
Yeah,
we're both not ranked, though.
I honestly think
Syracuse is above us in the coaches poll and K-State.
I don't get Pittsburgh still being there, and obviously this is a college of football. As a whole, we're talking about the Jayhawks, but I think we're better than Pittsburgh and K-State.
We have a common opponent. With Pittsburgh, we directly have a common opponent. We both played West Virginia within a week of each other. And they looked significantly better than they did on the road when they were home game against West Virginia. Obviously that's not the end-all be-all because football's a little different than basketball, but still.
What do you think, Owens?
I just still got to say I'm a little disappointed we're on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I expected some more teams to slip. Getting jumped by K-State makes sense with recency bias and just the eyeball test. I think we should be ranked. But if you just look at the scores, which I assume a lot of these AP voters do,
they don't watch the game.
It was only 8 points when realistically it was a 2-score game the entire time.
Mm-hmm. And it could have been more, but they don't look at the fact that we got stuffed on the goal line and then fumbled inside our own 20.
We hurt ourselves. We shot ourselves in the foot.
The AP, they're not really watching a Kansas Duke 11 a.m. kickoff as they are Oklahoma at night at home.
Oh, yeah. That K-State OU game was definitely the marquee game of the
evening. Yeah, it was the big game of the Big 12 that week.
Yeah, no, 100%. So definitely I've said if we win this week, we're going to be ranked probably 25th or 24th next week, I believe.
Potentially more if everybody else above us loses.
Yeah, I think if we win – I've said this before at this point. If we beat Duke, I think there's a good chance that we go 6-0 once we face – and our first loss might be against Oklahoma.
I'm a little worried about Iowa State just because they have one of the top defenses in the country, especially with running.
They did give up 35 points to Baylor, though.
That is true. That gives me more confidence going in, but
yeah,
just looking at their rankings defensively, it looks like they're going to be good, but no one's been able to hold Jalen Daniels yet this year. So
it's going to be a competitive game for sure.
And the thing with Jalen Daniels is if he does – I said even after this game that I think it was more likely that Jalen Daniels is actually on the Heisman watch list this week than KU being ranked. And it's because of the fact that – and I don't want to be the guy who's dick riding Jalen Daniels, but the kid's throwing 71% completion rate, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's got 900 yards through the air, another 300 on the ground, and then another 4 rushing touchdowns. He's counted for 15 touchdowns, okay? And it's just – and now we actually, I think, hopefully we're going to see a little bit more Jason Bean as a
maybe
join, because I'll get to this later, but I just think Jalen Daniels, I think Iowa State is the first true test. If we beat Iowa State, it depends on how Jalen Daniels look at Iowa State will depend on how the rest of the season goes. I think Iowa State is the first true. I mean, we saw
TCU next week is also going to be another competitive game. They beat the brakes off of SMU. Like TCU's a team,
that's SMU.
But SMU's a decent team. TCU's a good team. Again, they haven't really TCU and us.
SMU's a Group 5.
We are in the similar boat. TCU's beaten the shit out of like all the like teams that they should have so far. And we, up to this point, we've beat the teams that I would say we should have beat at least. Some people didn't think that we should have beat West Virginia or Houston, but like.
I mean, I said, well, we did talk about.
Yeah, we talked about it before the season started that those are winnable games.
Yeah, our first 4 games we could go 4-0. We did say that. What are your thoughts? What like right here? I see us going at the very least 6-6, but I'm looking at a year maybe 8-4 if we beat ISU and our guys. TCU, and then I bet you if we beat those 2 guys,
Texas Tech has a winnable game too.
And then K-State.
And
even Texas. I think every game is winnable except maybe Oklahoma State, but like I'm not saying we're going undefeated. I'm not saying anything like that, but every game we can compete in. I don't think we're going to see any 42-7 games.
Yeah, not like the old days of Kansas football.
No.
So our 2 hardest opponents, you would say, Owens, is Oklahoma and OK State?
Oklahoma State, and probably since we're going to Oklahoma.
Yeah, but Oklahoma State's definitely the toughest opponent that we're going to play. Yeah. I would say so.
Do we have them at home or on the road?
We have them at home.
I don't think Texas
It's after the road trip, the Oklahoma and Baylor road trip. We have them at home after.
I don't think Texas is our hardest opponent, but I think people don't realize is that this game means more than Texas football. If Texas loses to KU, they are going to fire their athletic director. Steve Sarkisian is going to be fired. Like both of them will be fired before the flight home. If they lose,
it'll be like even worse. It'll be like even more.
Is it at Texas or it's here this year?
It's here this year.
Yeah. So yeah, if Texas were to lose, so like Texas has like everything to lose.
Okay, but dude, if we're like actually a better team than them and like favorites to win the game,
they would still fire him. They would still fire him.
Depends on how the rest of their season goes. If they're like,
there's still so much
7-5. Like
they're 2-2 right now.
They're 2-2 right now.
Yeah, they lost to Tech last week.
Oh man,
Steve Sarkisian might be fired before then.
Yeah, well, maybe not, but
one of those losses to Bama, you can't really.
Yeah, the Bama one, and they competed in the Bama game, but they lost.
They competed.
They lost on like a late field goal.
They lost by 1 or 2, something like that.
They lost by 1. But to be fair, Bama shit the bed all game, and that game meant more to Texas than it did to Bama, and Bama still won despite the fact that their offense didn't do anything for 3 quarters.
Yeah,
like that shows you the talent difference between those two, and like Texas just blew that. Like they lost to Tech. That was a game they should have won, and they.
So I want to pivot right here and talk about Kai Thomas in the press conference. Lance said he was an emergency option, but if you would even call him, he's basically a super healthy scratch, and it's obviously like we have a low Devin Neal, Danny Highshaw, 2 beasts, then Sevion Morrison out there being a beast. And the thing is behind though, and then you put Jalen Daniels in there being our top 4 rushers. I would say Kai Thomas is even behind Jason Bean, who it seems like the last few games they're starting to find ways to make him an offensive weapon through jet sweeps, take the ball.
It's just wild to think about that because he was last year was a really, really good player. He was like part of the split backfield with Minnesota when their starter went down. He was the bowl game MVP, and he transferred to KU expecting to be part of a tandem with Devin Neal and expecting to get touches. And he's buried on the depth chart now.
Even behind Torrey Loughlin.
Yeah.
Quarterback turned running back who, like Torrey Loughlin and Sevion Morrison.
Like utility receiver running back.
Yeah, because Loughlin's our receiving back. Morrison's our change of pace, like super fast guy, moves more east to west than north to south, while Daniel and Devin just take turns going north and south pounding. It's just crazy that like we're like, if you include Daniels in there, Jalen Daniels with Highshaw, Neal, Jalen Daniels, Morrison, Loughlin, you got like right there 6 backs. Then you hit Kai Thomas.
And one thing I'll say, The offensive line play has greatly improved. Yesterday against Duke, that was the first time that he'd been sacked all year, is what the announcers were saying at the wheel. Like I was watching the game. First time he'd been sacked all year. I didn't even notice that it was a stat. But come to think of it, he hasn't been sacked. He's either gotten good protection or, he's been able to extend and make plays because that's what he does.
Owens, what's your thoughts on the line?
Before I get to the line.
The running backs.
Running backs. I think we should redshirt Kai Thomas.
I agree.
Yeah.
3 or 4 games. Just redshirt him going forward because right now we got Devin Neal, Savion Morrison, Daniel Highshaw, Torrey Loughlin. They're running backs.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Daniels does what he does with his legs. I mean, he's not a running back, but
same thing with Bean.
Yeah, Bean. Like we got some options with Torrey Loughlin and Jason Bean being on their last years here that maybe we redshirt Thomas and just kind of save that year for him.
Because he has the potential. We've seen it before. He's just unfortunately, as of right now, obviously he hasn't been in the system, but still, he just isn't as good as those other guys right now with regards to our offense.
I think he might just need some more game flow, like being in there snap after snap.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, that's probably it too. My question is right here, are we scared? Because people don't realize a lot. Yes, Jalen Daniels has 11 touchdowns. But people don't, and I think, what is he passing? He's passing at a decent clip.
He leads in ESPN's QBR stat. He leads the country.
What's he throwing at? 8 yards per throw or 9 yards?
Oh, it's more. It's
7
it's almost 10 yards.
10 yards.
Yeah.
But the thing is people don't realize is if I'm scared that in a game where they stop the run and we're going to have to throw, short of the sticks a lot, that's where a team could beat us, is forcing us to throw short of the sticks.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize, yes, we're having a great passing year, but it's because a lot of time we go run, and then we do a bomb to Quinn Skinner or a ball or a post or an out route to Luke Grimm.
Or one of the running backs takes a screen pass.
And it's all usually big play throws, not many, we do get the occasional short throw in there, but it's a lot of the times. Do you think that's our biggest fear right now to stop KU football is
Jalen Daniels, if you look, obviously, against Tennessee Tech, he didn't attempt very many passes, but he has attempted over 20 passes, and he attempted 29 against West Virginia. He's attempted over 20 passes. He's completing them at a high rate, and it's not like they're just asking him to he's making plays. At the end of the day, if your quarterback is making plays, there's no need to just throw the dink and dunk completions.
What's your thoughts on
if he's making plays?
I mean, I was impressed with a lot of the throws. I rewatched the game this morning. There was a number of short passes, 5 yards or less, that a receiver caught it, made a guy miss, or they missed the tackle, and then we pick up 12 to 15 yards because of poor tackling from the other team. Yeah,
there was that one play on third down where, what was it, Skinner? I can't remember who it was, caught a screen pass and then made one guy miss and then juked out 2 guys and it was 3rd and long and he got the first down from that.
Yeah, I'm just impressed with our wide receivers at this point because they're holding on to the ball where normally in past years we've had some dumb drops. Yeah. But our blocking downfield from the wide receivers on run plays or just any catches, the other wide receivers are there. They're making plays, moving downfield.
Yeah, they are.
And that's what really impressed me the most with rewatching some of these games.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let's move forward to next week, Iowa State. What are your thoughts on the Iowa State game? This is going to be a game where I think we win this game through time of possession. It's kind of how we beat Duke this week. We had almost 6 or 7 minutes more time of possession than them. I think it's just going to be another game where even in the in the press conference, Lance said we have way too many penalties. Okay.
Yeah.
And we can't be causing stupid, dumb fumbles. And basically, I think we've been a team that has taken care of the ball. That's something I'm not concerned about.
It was an isolated incident.
It was an isolated incident. I saw it from the other side of the angle. I saw it up close. And it's honestly, he kind of he took a hit to the inside. It seems like he kind of like got the wind knocked out of him for a sec, and then like I don't know. It was an isolated incident. So, what are your thoughts, Owens? And we'll hear Luke on how do we beat Iowa State? And we know this isn't the Iowa State teams of the past with Brock Purdy, but still, it's a formidable threat.
Brock Purdy.
I mean, they're a respectable team. We'll see what their defense brings, but I think as long as we just stay calm and composed, just don't shoot ourselves in the foot with dumb penalties, take care of the ball, I think we win by a possession or two. I think that something kind of outside of the game with Iowa State is their fans travel well. And so their fans show up for this game. We kind of hear them in the stadium. The KU fans are going to respond with even more energy than what we saw last week against Duke.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, Iowa State definitely is a fan base that travels well. And, like, obviously, they have a really strong defense. Like, they're giving up, like, less than 15 points a game. Like, that Iowa game, Iowa is usually the ones who come out in terms of, like, terrible 1920s style football slugfests. But the fact that Iowa State went on the road, I'm pretty sure it was on the road game. I'm pretty sure it was at Iowa, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, when they beat Iowa on the road at their own game. That's something that doesn't happen very often. That game was
Iowa's
awful.
offense is bad though.
I know, and Iowa State's offense isn't great either. But
what's crazy is Iowa State, like obviously not rushing wise, but has a more prolific passing attack, and they're actually favored 61%.
They also throw more. They also do throw more. Because they've been, at least in terms of the Baylor game, and like
I think Iowa State is going to show how good our defense is, as this is going to be an offense that is going to give our defense a lot of opportunities to force turnovers, with Deckers being a guy who seems to be kind of a gunslinger and likes throwing the ball to Xavier Hutchinson. And I think that's going to just be something like, because like if you look at their run game, 133 yards in college football is kind of shit.
Oh, yeah, because of the way that so many teams just have so many dynamic playmakers.
Yeah, and
you want to run the ball predominantly because the quarterbacks just aren't as good.
Yeah, so like it looks like in this game, if we can force them to try to beat us with the run and take Xavier Hutchinson out of this game and force them to beat us on the ground, yeah, we have a 38.7% chance to win according to ESPN's Football Power Index, but fuck them.
But you know what? With piggybacking off of that, I saw this tweet in ESPN's Football Power Index. It was like a fucking, what's the word? Like it was like a time lapse, and it was just a moving graphic of how the teams have moved week to week. And as of the end of week 4, we are second in the country behind Ohio State in offensive efficiency.
I think it all comes down to us just doing what we do on offense. Our defense isn't spectacular, but we can take the ball away once or twice. This game's over.
Yeah, I think we have the perfect corners for this game. I know our corners aren't like any. I think our best position on defense is our linebacking court, followed up by our D line. But our secondary, what makes our secondary special is we have a bunch of poor man's Trayvon Diggs, where Jacoby Bryant, for example, is a guy. He's not the best corner in the world, but he loves to jump routes.
Same with like Mello Dotson's the other one.
Both. They just love. So, sometimes they'll get burned, but sometimes, especially against college football, quarterbacks, they're going to get,
they're going to get more picks than you would think.
Yeah, because they're very opportunistic guys who are going to jump a lot of routes. They might not be the best man-to-man guys, but, they're going to be jumping routes and making sure quarterbacks who aren't the best pay for that. What do you guys think?
Like, at the end of the day, like, Iowa State is not an elite offense. We truly haven't. I mean, West Virginia has a good offense. I guess they have a good offense, but I don't know if Iowa State's definitely not the best offense that we faced.
I think we win.
They're the best defense that we faced for sure, but yeah, I think we win too.
Owens?
Yeah, their offense doesn't scare me. Defense makes me a little nervous. I think we come out on top. I feel like that makes us a little bit of homers there, but I cannot see us losing big.
In the
it
booth?
just does not seem realistic.
Yeah, exactly. In the booth.
second home game in a row. We're 4-0. If we win this game, then the pollsters will finally give us our respect.
Yeah, I think more people will be even at this game.
Yeah, it's homecoming, so I can see a lot of young alumni coming back who wanted to see KU football be great, but just saw a horrific team. And so they're coming in with energy that is almost student-like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I certainly feel right now.
Your best teams for both of you were Carter Stanley.
Yeah.
Les Miles, Carter Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
And Carter Stanley was underrated. I would die on the hill that Carter Stanley could have been in any other system.
He never had the true backing by the coaching staff for most of his college career at KU, which is a detriment to the coaching staff now.
Yeah, I wanted him to start since he was a freshman. We always had controversies. I'm like, if we have a controversy, go with the young guy. Like, just get him experience, get him going, and it never happened up until your year.
Thankfully, you know what? Here's what I'll say. This is one of my takes. I think that Jalon Daniels getting thrown in the fire the COVID year as a true freshman for that god-awful team, that helped his development. And he put up awful numbers. Look at his stats. Like 1 touchdown, 4 picks, less than 5 yards an attempt, but that team was awful. He got sacked 28 times.
Dude, that kid had I remember also.
That kid was just running for his life.
I could bet on his offensive line back then.
Les Miles compared him to Cam Newton. That's when I knew Les Miles was senile.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's looking like a good comparison. But
maybe Lamar. Maybe
closer to Lamar Jackson because he's not he's not gonna truck you.
Yeah. And
Cam will just run over you.
Lamar in him.
But to wrap up the show, you had 3 off football related topics to wrap this up. You said student rushing the field goal club sucks, and that the booth, KU Memorial Stadium, needs a new sound system.
They've been needed a new sound system.
Yeah, sound systems.
Oh my God.
That shit sounds like we're in a high school gym.
Oh my God.
Well, the music we play is something that would get everyone hyping out in field.
But the sound system is bad. With the stadium, it doesn't work. Give
them some of the house speakers.
That'll work.
Yeah, bring back the party speakers. Get everyone's car pulled up, blasting music.
What's your thoughts on students rushing the field? I mean, obviously, I was there. I actually hated it. I thought it was kind of annoying. I was there doing my job and then trying to capture some end of the game footage, and then everyone just fucking got on.
Well, that is end of the game footage.
I know I got that, but I usually get to go up to the players and I can so I only got a couple of them to get.
I mean, yeah, but we're 4-0.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's cool, but as someone working media, let me do my shit. Then.
Oh my God, you're one of those guys now. You know what we should do? For example, if we beat Oklahoma, if us and Oklahoma State are somehow undefeated for some reason by the time that we play them. If we beat them, we have to tear down the goalposts. They have to let us. I mean, they can't stop all of us.
I can see the goalposts coming down as soon as we get that 6th win. I think rushing the field versus Duke had nothing to do with Duke.
But if we got the 6th, it was just that
it was a carryover from the past weeks against Houston, West Virginia. The fans are so excited. They don't know what to do.
Exactly. We didn't get to watch our team win the last 2 days the last 2 weeks in person.
Yeah. So I think it was more of a carryover effect. I'm not too worried
100%.
about it. Wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but.
And field goal club?
Field goal club sucks. Get rid of it. Trash it. I don't care. Touchdown club, cool. Field goal club, just no. I'm done with it.
What field goal club's so stupid. It looks like get yourself hit by a ball.
Yeah.
Well, if you looked at the amount of people in there, it was they reduced the ticket sales for it.
It's not worth it. If they're they should either let more people
it should be 100 people. It should be a
open
nightclub.
up more space or get rid of it because we need people.
I want dick to dick up in there.
We need.
I want to see people falling off the rafters.
Yeah, people better be partying so hard in there that they're jumping off the 2nd level down to the 1st level.
We need stands. We need fans in the stands.
Yeah, someone kicks an extra point. It's going into the field goal club. You see someone jump off, catch it in midair, just like at the Bear Stadium.
Exactly.
That would be awesome. No, and my final thing is after I don't like I like Travis Goff, but I don't like. I was telling Luke this. I think Travis Goff, he's in the minute, so he's on the field always, and he kind of just acts like he's a coach almost. And I'm like, Travis, like you should be up there greasing palms. I understand that, but he just kind of seems like the guy who wants, when Lance gets remembered for saving KU football, he wants to make sure that right after they say Lance, they say Travis Goff under the same breath.
It's so hard for an athletic director to get that. It's almost a thankless job. He's kicking ass at what he's doing.
Yeah, he is.
And we love him for it. But it's just one of those jobs where you don't think about the athletic director until did they fire him?
Yeah, or if you're one of those athletic directors that works for 20, 30 years and then they retire and you're like, holy fuck, this guy did all this,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no one
retire.
But a lot of athletic directors at big universities are just rich people who don't really have not necessarily Travis Goff, but at bigger universities obviously Texas. It's they don't really have much else to do with their time, so they don't really care.
Yeah.
But Travis Goff went to KU too, so
Travis Goff actually cares. I'm more speaking of Texas AD in particular. Yeah. But
I mean, if I'm Travis Goff, the KU alumni, I'm taking this team from what's been horrible for 14 years.
Yeah.
And I'm I'd be so invested in it. I've watched our team grow or be terrible that long. So I kind of understand his excitement there.
Yeah. All right. Any closing thoughts for you boys?
I might have one. I wrote down something. Oh, so the targeting penalty. When I was rewatching the game, something I need to bring up. Or they reviewed for targeting, didn't throw a flag, ended up not calling it. In the second quarter at the 11-minute mark, if you go back and watch this clip, same exact play, same two players, running back and then number 4 on our defense. I can't think of who that is.
Oh, yeah.
They have the same kind of contact.
Gaines.
The running back runs over Gaines and picks up an extra 2-3 yards. No one thinks a thing of it. Same hit, literally exact same play.
Yeah.
But as soon as Gaines wins it or the defense wins it, it becomes a targeting issue. And I got
that's modern football. That's just a product of NFL is the same problem. That's just a whole nother thing.
Let the boys play.
That just irritated me enough I had to bring it up.
Yeah. The most egregious penalty of the day was when Duke was down 15 and they called that pass interference on 4th down when Mello Dotson broke up the play.
That looked so bad from where I was sitting in the stadium, but I don't know.
Dude, no, I watched that play and then I watched the highlights of the game immediately after I got back, and it still looks just as bad to me. That was an egregious
unnecessary roughness, push out of bounds with his foot still in.
With Gavin Potter, yeah, that was another one. That was another one that was just awful. They were selling. The refs were selling on that.
Yeah,
that's funny as fuck. Yeah, no, some of the penalties. It's just also for me when I watch the game, I'm I don't see the full field, so and I can't look up that the Jumbotron. Yeah, I'm recording and shit. So sometimes when I'll look back and I get a chance to look up, I'll be like, holy shit, that play looks so different from my point of view.
What about high shots screenplay?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll see a play because sometimes I'll think a play's over and then I'll just see someone just running loose and I'll be oh fuck, and I'll start moving. Also, it's incredibly scary when someone gets tackled and close, and you're looking through the camera, and then you just see a bunch of people on the side start shuffling, and you're like, oh, I gotta shuffle, and because you don't want to be on ESPN for getting decked.
Yeah, because you don't want once one person falls, if there's a pile up, it's like a bunch of bowling pins. Everyone just goes down.
Thankfully,
you just gotta stand your ground.
Yeah,
you gotta lay out one of the players.
Yeah, what happens? I stand there and I fucking just put my shoulder down. They just all get decked.
Deck them.
Yeah, they just come over.
Unnecessary roughness on this guy on the sideline. I don't know what to say.
Lance comes over, gives me a scholarship. You get low, boy. Low man wins.
Low man always wins. Yeah. He'd use you on special teams.
Yeah, I'm a gunner.
He's a gunner. That's his job. You'd be a good gunner.
I'd be a great gunner.
You'd be a great gunner. Because you always put in the effort. You would just sprint and just dive, even if you didn't make it.
I'd volley over here.
Yep. Yeah. I'd fucking have CTE by the end. They'd be like, how? You didn't get that many guys. I know. I just dove and hit the ground too hard too many times.
Yeah. Or I just dove at people's knees.
Yeah. Oh, I'd take out so many knees. People, they'd call me Zero ACL, the ACL.
They call him a kneecapper.
Yeah, I'd be a kneecapper. Yeah, no knees are safe. I'd also wear like 2 big ass braces.
You should have
For no
have the
reason.
neck pad.
Neck
roll.
The old-fashioned neck roll.
And then I'd get
you got to tuck your
have, like,
jersey
short-
underneath your pads like Sean
Yeah.
Oakman did at Baylor.
Yeah. You have to be like the most intimidating.
roll up my shorts.
And you have
too.
to have a Patrick Willis Navarro Bowman club on your hand.
both hands.
Oh yeah, both hands. Because
Both
you can
hands.
still catch like that. So
Yeah,
and then also you don't need a catch. Your entire job is to hit people.
literally. All right, Owens. We'll see you next week.
All right. Yep. I'll be up there at the booth. Homecoming. Oh, it's
I
gonna be great.
gotta buy my sports pass tomorrow.
You can buy my ticket. I have an extra
No,
ticket.
I need to buy the sports pass itself anyway for basketball season.
Oh yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah, well, I was gonna buy it on Thursday after I was after class, but like in between classes, I looked and I saw the notification that it was sold out. So I'm like, well, fuck. It doesn't really matter if I buy it. I'll just wait.
All right.
Go get it.
Cheers, boy. I'll see you next weekend.
All right. See ya.
All right,
Enjoy
back
your
to
work of the
booth.
week. Peace. Pack the booth.
I'll
Rock
see you at the
chalk.
booth.